Ladies and gentlemen, it's round 2 of the Hoenn Gaiden Open. This is going to be exciting. We've got a Swiss format. It was originally double elimination. I changed it to a Swiss format. It's more suitable for the number of people. I consulted with tournament organization expert Simeon for the advice to convert it to a Swiss format. Round 1 would remain unchanged, but round 2 would now be people match up based on their round 1 results. So the people that went 1-0 match up against each other, and the people that went 0-1 match up against each other. This, I think, is a bit of a more fair way to do it. Give people more opportunity to play games rather than a double elimination where you can just get owned in 2 rounds. And it's much better than single elimination as well. A little bit harder to organize, but I think it's worth it for the result. Folks, I'd like to, before I get into the commentary, shout out my patrons who have... Everyone from last month renewed for a second month, which I really appreciate. All you guys can renew the same rewards you did last month, this month again. The Team Doctor and the video request from DKKoba. We can get a second one. Thank you to Luke F, a new patron, and thank you to Rubbishbin Man, Mason, Mini Mike, DKKoba, Speckled Black, Hagetsu, and Sword Piece for renewing. Thank you so much, guys. If you guys wanted to take a look at the Patreon rewards I have available, just take a look in the description. Anyway, enough of that. Enough of the self-promotion nonsense. Let's get into the meat and potatoes, the games. These games are all downloaded as HTML, so I haven't lost any games like last week. We've got them all. We've got King of Iron Frisk up against... Forgive me, he's got a different name on Showdown to the one he has on it. On Discord, it's Novice Hoenn Gaidener, who isn't really a novice. I believe his name is a bit of a misnomer. Up against King of Iron Frisk, who is my main practice partner in this format. I think he's doing quite well for himself. Innovating in the metagame. Bring in a Crawdon lead versus a Cactone lead. Cactone is interesting in this metagame. Sandveil is actually altered to, instead of buffing evasion, it increases defense by 10% in sand. And also grants sand immunity. So, Cactone, a pretty good spiker. And Crawdon has been given special attack, so it actually makes sense as a water dark type. And it has Mold Breaker to ignore the enemy's abilities. It's just gone right out the gate with an Ice Beam. Could be an expert belt Crawdon with coverage. A Suicune comes in and CMs up. Pretty good. A Lax coming in though. That's a good raw on the defensive switch. Get an extra leftovers chip and then reveal a bit of their team. Goes for a Surf this time, however. Gonna just chip down Lax, and I think that's quite a good plan. Lax now below half health. Also doesn't appear to have lefties, so that's nice. Forces it to boom. That's okay, I mean, depending on the rest of the team, we'll see how this shakes out. We've got a Zapdos and a Deoxys Speed. Despite its name, it is not fast enough post-paralyzed to outspeed Zapdos, and it goes down, making only a simple 1 layer of spikes. But that might be all King of Iron Frisk needs. We've got the Lumberry D-Dance, I assume, yes. Even in Hoenn Gaiden, a Gen 3 mod, you can't escape this metagame staple, the Lumberry D-Dance Tyranitar. We've got a Silvally Ground in. Forgive the sprites are a bit glitched here. Silvally Ground not able to actually one-hit Tar. That Tar must have some bulk or something, because that should kill, surely. That was a good play, the Delibird coming in on the EQ and then Ice Sharding to finish it off. That was well done. And Hail is going to be valuable, chipping all these steels and rocks. Moltres Galar is something we haven't seen much of. Interesting Pokemon. It's got Fiery Wrath. It's a dark flying type threat. It has Pursuit as well. Can be a Pursuiter. Not going to match up very well against Jirachi, though. Whoa, it's Alex Rodriguez, the Magma Mortar. First time I've seen that thing. Is it good Flame Body? Yes. I think this thing is gonna... Although it's probably, I guess, slower than Silvally, yeah. But Crawdon's in and That's a bit of a tragedy. Novice Hoenn Gaiden is going to fall to his own hail chip that he created. A blizzard coming down, freezing the Magmortar, but he thaws instantly and gets a fight. That was crazy. That was almost a Delibird moment, but Delibird goes down. I don't think the Delibird was getting through this Jirachi, though, even with the greatest luck of all time. He would have to get another freeze and then chip it down with the hail. It was possible, but wasn't looking good for Novice Hoenn Gaidener. Interesting team from King of Iron Frisk. We've got some kind of spikeless Crawdaunt Deoxys Speed. No, sorry, not spikeless. I always forget Deoxys Speed is a spiker. Interesting squad. It's a bit spike weak itself, but was applying enough pressure. Never allowed him to make any spikes. Never allowed him any breathing room. Just all in early on. Full out offense. Very aggressive spikes team there from King of Iron Frisk. Let's take a look at game 2. We've got an Incineroar lead. What looks to be HP rock this Zapdos. Pretty good chip damage right there. Snorlax coming in. And we've got a baton to another Snorlax, and a Focus Punch is pretty enormous on the Lovely Kiss miss. Kustab Berry. Lovely Kiss. Okay, Kustab Berry must have been what he was running last game over lefties. That's a good option. Not something I've used very much, but probably very powerful. That's a great tool in Gen 3. We have allowed Zapdos in. And Ice Beam is going to chip it to 42. Novice Hoenn Gaiden are happy to take a huge amount of chip on the Jellicent. That's going to be a problem if King of Iron Frisk has Salamence or Flygon. Jellicent, the primary check to those threats has now gone down. I wonder if he's got something else in the back for that. We've got the Crab coming in, the classic Crab. We've got an EQ coming out from King of Iron Frisk, mid-grounding the Jellicent. Doesn't want to let Jellicent come in for free on a fighting type attack. Incineroar blasts the Crab out of this universe, and there is Immense in the back. So, whoa, that's HP Ice. I thought it was HP Rock for some reason. HP Ice makes more sense. Incineroar would be a special Pokemon in this gen. In other gens, it's a physical threat. That's why I assume that. But in Gen 3, Fire Dark is special only. So Incineroar acting as a bit of a Immense check. That's novel. Turns out to be a lax squad from Hoenn Gaidener. 2 EQs will get there, no para. A second EQ should finish off this lax, but Cloyster invited in, of course, with its enormous physical bulk. Gonna get crit by Earthquake, though. That's a pretty significant chip, actually. Pump for big damage. Could this be enabling a physical Dragon Dancer in the back for Hoenn Gaidener? It's a Flygon, so it could be a Dragon Dance Flygon right here. Not going to go for the D-Dance on the Swampert, though. He could have, because he's probably got a Yachi Berry to eat the Ice Beam. Incineroar coming in, HP Ice does check this. This is a cool team. I like the way that he, it makes sense that he stacked the Jellicent and he figured I can be okay versus the Salamence if he's got it. I've got the HP Ice Incineroar. And I think that he's got this. I'm pretty sure Flygon has Lunge. T-Tar, same thing. Probably HP Bug here. Or just Crunch or something. Gonna finish off this Celebi. Okay, maybe King of Iron Frisk can win this. I don't think he can get through Flygon, though. I don't think Flygon is killable here. It's full health. It probably has Lunge. Crit Giga Drain. Yeah, Lunge, though. Well played from Novice Hoenn Gaiden. A nice team. I like this team. No, I've not used Incineroar before, but I like the combo of Int Him plus HP Ice. Actually lets you check Immense decently well enough. You are obviously Earthquake weak, but it's manageable. Jellicent is the more sturdy check, but in a pinch Incineroar can work, and it hits the Immense lead as well. Hits a Zap lead, as shown here. You HP Ice the Zap lead. For some good chip. I think it's got good lead matchups. And Tim is always nice in the lead slot. You can set up a defensive switch by lowering their attack. I like that. I think that's cool. And we've got game 3 of the first set. King of Iron Frisk versus Novice Hoenn Gaiden. King of Iron Frisk insisting on this Deoxys speed stuff. Me and many others have found Deoxys speed, despite its, you know, being a legendary, quite underwhelming in this metagame. I think there's a lot of superior spikers with more defensive merit or offensive merit than Deoxys speed. The insane speed is actually not as valuable as it seems, but King of Iron Frisk disagrees, and we've got a Sun team from Novice Hoenn Gaiden. I'm assuming this is a Pattaya berry, and in a twist of fate, King of Iron Frisk also has a sub Charizard, and they're just fire blasting each other, hoping not to miss. And that Blaze Fire Blast will finish off Zard. I think that was a speed tie. Erry going to finish off Zard, obviously. I'm sure Executor can live this double edge and get a sunny day off and start wreaking havoc. Are we going to see like an HP fire on the Metagross? No, just a simple explosion. I wonder if that was even Silk Scarf, because there was no item, and yeah, that was a pretty high damage explosion. Maybe attack investment or Silk Scarf or something. That's a bit eyebrow raising to me. This is... I don't think that this Shiftry can... Wow, the crit explosion is enormous. This is going to come down to the lasts. And I think a water move just... Oh, wait, Endure... That's cool, because yeah, that sets up... The sun sets up Endure. Reversal doesn't do it, though. That Starmie probably a bit bulky then. Damn. That was close. That was a really cool game. That was really awesome. This is, I think I've seen this team last round. Or something similar. Just a more simple Sun team. I guess this kind of team is literally an OU team, but can function in this meta maybe a little bit better. I do think that the rise of more ice types makes fire threats a bit more powerful. Alright folks, here we've got Fruhdazi versus DripLegend. Round 2. I think Fruhdazi's been doing well in this format, and last round DripLegend got a bye, so I haven't seen him play yet. We're going to see him play for the first time in this commentary. Let's see how it goes against Fruhdazi, who has been a bit of an innovator in the format. A fan of Cleavor and Hitmonlee and those kind of guys. The reversal sweepers, which are definitely strong in this meta. Gonna just brick break through this Flygon. Interesting. Goes to Glisco. Good nickname, Glisco. Which is a great... I think it's an excellent Pokemon. It's a Tar check. It's a ground immune, Flygon check, sand immune, and it's got a good move pool. And Hyper Cutter is also excellent. Looks like it's itemless with acrobatics. That's really... I actually think that's really... Or is it, that's just a lot of damage and actually it's like a Lychee Berry or something. Because he is subbing down a lot. We do see a Sableye. And an Ice Punch. Nice chip on the Sableye. This thing has Magic Guard. It's actually quite powerful in Hoenn Gaiden. So, I think getting that 80% chip on it was pretty valuable there. Because that thing can be a little bit of a bastard and just live forever. Dance on the Protect. Very nice. He is getting toxic chips down though. We see a Roselia on the Brick Break. Very nice. Wonder if this tile... I guess it was Brick Breaking to mid-ground Flygon, but good play by DripLegend going to the Roselia. The unrevealed fighting resist. I guess he's thinking worst case he loses the Roselia. It's not that bad. That's a pretty good risk-reward play. And then comes in on the brick break, and that's also good for him. The Tyranitar is now dead. And this is a Silvally ground. Forgive the sprite glitch. Imagine a horse-looking thing on your screen, killing a Jirachi. It's danced up. Can it finish off this Flygon with anything? Only has Rock Slide. And Flygon is lunging it down, getting rid of its attack, so that something can maybe live a hit. But I actually don't think that that's going to be enough. It's going to finish off Sableye. Tar can maybe live this? Nope. Drops to a crit. It could have lived, but I mean, Fruhdazi still has 3 Pokemon in the back. I'm sure he can handle a Tyranitar, even if it dances up. And we've got game 2 of this set. Let's take a look. A Parasect lead versus Deoxys lead. Parasect simply lunges the Deoxys, kills it in one fell swoop. What the? That was an error from Fruhdazi exploding on the Parasect. Forgot that it's a ghost type in Hoenn Gaiden. He says, oh wait. Look, I've made errors in this format as well with stuff like that. The new immunities, the mechanical quirks. I've definitely looked like a bit of an idiot in my own set, which you'll see later, so can't fault him for that. Easy to forget Parasect as a ghost type. I mean, look at it. It's not really ghostly at all, but yeah. So Fruhdazi had a pretty significant disadvantage right off the bat. Steelix coming in though, pretty epic, I won't lie. Toxic's expecting a switch out, okay. Perhaps a bit of a throw there. Goes a Jill this time, okay. This Metagross is going a bit nuts. We're going to see a Mash come down. Attack raise as well, wow. I don't think that kills Celebi. Celebi can live and also misses Mash. A little bit deserved because of the previous attack raise, but also, you know, whatever. Steelix coming in and gonna get some Leech Seed heals. Are we gonna see Protect? No. Steelix just drops. And this Metagross with a Leech Seed on it might just kill everything. DripLegend did not go for the Boom Predict on that. If he went to Parasect, that would have been a nice swing back in his favor. He didn't go for it. It's a bit frightening to click, I understand. And then a random Fire Punch crit. Just drops the damn Parasect. That would have slept Jirachi and maybe gone a bit of momentum back. But that's an unfortunate situation right there. This Dunsparce, which is actually an excellent spiker. It has Serene Grace Slam plus Spikes. That's a really great combo. And then normal Dragon is interesting typing too. Dragon providing a lot of key resistances to the, you know, Fire, Grass, Electric. But this Jirachi is looking like a menace even when it's paralyzed. That's Silvally fighting. That's gonna be able to 2-hit, but doesn't get the full power it needs. Could have been winnable for DripLegend if he got the full power there. Little bit of an unfortunate game, this one, but this was a bit of a wacky game. Bit of nonsense on both sides. Fruhdazi sort of forgot about the Iron Fleet, but they didn't forget about him. And a Silvally Dragon is obviously going to threaten this Dunsparce directly with a super effective move and earn the KO. Well done. Bit of an unclean game too, but game 1 was pretty dominant. Well played to DripLegend in game 2. I think he played quite well. Unfortunate result, but that's okay. It happens. In the Swiss format, when you get some nonsense happening, you actually have a lot more opportunity to recover. That's why I like it as well. So DripLegend now 1-1. 1 win, 1 loss. So that's not the worst thing in the world. You can't complain too much. You did get a free buy last round. Anyway, here we are with Yak Attack versus Patboi. I'm going to be honest, I don't actually know who's who. because they have different names on. I think I'm gonna assume this is patboi because this sounds a bit like patboi, like PDB. So we got patboi and Yak Attack. Yak Attack did win in round 1. He seems like a solid player. And so did patboi. So we'll see what they brought for round 2. We've got Morbin time. The shiny Gliscor. Morbius himself coming in. A simple switch to Blissey. And an aggressive early explosion. Taking out Blissey. Wonder how beneficial this is going to be. Okay, we've got a Toxic there is pretty enormous. That's going to cripple Zapdos Galar. Stat passing is illegal, so Zapdos Galar cannot actually baton pass these bulk up boosts. That would be pretty powerful if it could, but baton passing stat boost is banned in this format. Looks like Peter from Family Guy was setting up for a Doug Alola KO with that chip damage from Zapdos Galar Drill Peck. That could be enormous. Eliminating the Jellicent can enable a lot of stuff. Jellicent is a key defensive piece that walls a lot of stuff in this metagame. And look at that, a Swords Dance Megahorn is threatening huge damage on Gliscor. All he can do is EQ it for peanuts. Gonna 2-hit, in fact. Heracross in Swarm range now. Goes for a sub, but so does Hera. Reversal? Does he have Salackberry? I'm confused by that. That looks a lot like a Salackberry, but doesn't seem to have it. Wonder what item it is. Got a Chestnut, who is actually quite a powerful Pokemon here. It's got spikes and Spiky Shield, Leech Seed, as we see. Looks like it's a Rain team from Peter. Why did he just click Rain Dance? Did he expect a Tar to come in? That was a nuts decision. I kind of respect it. If Tar came in, that would have been pretty enormous, because you can just lunge everything. But also lunge would just hit Tar anyway. I'm sure lunge is the better play. Doug Alola gonna finish off that. I think that this Doug Alola can actually just 1v1 this Deoxys Speed. Does have superpower actually, never mind. Armaldo coming in with the... Hey Jim, hey man. What's up? We got a Plusle coming in. Encore's him into Signal being good play. Now he can't Rain Dance up. Who's gonna win this? This is quite tight. Plusle able to finish off this Hera, and this Hera does not have... Sorry, the Armaldo, and the Hera does not have Slack, so... That Encore from Plusle just secured the victory. That was awesome. That was really well done. I do like the team here. The Rain... I think Rain is a really good archetype in this meta. Doug Alola is really cool. It's exactly like Doug, but it's Steel type. It's a bit slower. So it doesn't check Tar because of its speed. It can't actually outspeed +1 Tar and hit it with Earthquake. But it's a lot sturdier versus Blissey because it is neutral to ice. So it can actually just trap Blissey without having to take a huge Ice Beam in the process. It can even take some spikes and still trap Blissey. So I really like Doug Alola on this kind of team with the Rain Dance. And, oh, I'm so stupid. The Heracross got its Select Berry knocked off by Gliscor. Sorry for missing that. Yeah, that was an important moment. That's why I didn't have any berry or item. Gliscor knockoff proving to be very valuable there. Alright, let's take a look at game 2. Yak Attack versus patboi. Another Gliscor named Morbin time. Let me just check that I'm not watching the same replay by accident. No, but nice dance on the Protect. Looks like the same team from the PDB. And Gengar coming in on a circle throw. Intelligent. Logical. Intelligent. Logical. Gonna wisp this Bliss. Get some crucial permanent chip. Skarm in. Wonder if Skarm is happy to take a Will-O-Wisp just to create some spikes. Looks like it is. And it wasn't a Wisp, it was a Surf. Interesting. I think a Wisp is better there. You get permanent... You permanently cripple the Skarm. Hello again to Plusle. Saying hello to the viewers at home. Flygon, a great switch into Plusle, resisting both of its stabs. But that Fire Blast was quite powerful. Yeah, Plusle extremely buffed compared to its Gen 3 OU form with fire typing. I believe it has Flash Fire. It's an interesting mon. Electric Fire Stab is a great combo. This Jellicent shooting off Surfs. Gets Plusle in, taking Spikes and Toxic, but I imagine HP Ice would be a logical coverage option here. It's got Encore, we know. But is the last HP Ice. That would make a lot of sense. We might see it do that here. Okay, it doubles to Chestnut actually. Probably on a... I was going to say a Flygon, but actually went Jellicent expecting another Fire Blast. And nice Leech. But going to get Wisped for his trouble. Goes for the Leech again. I like it. But didn't pay off. Would have been good if he switched out, keep up the momentum. This Chestnut now not long for this world. Is he going to make spikes on the way out? Yes. I like that. Pressure the Jellicent and Tar. Although the team from Peter is quite spikes immune. We've got 3 spike immunes shown. This Chestnut did some good work on the way out despite that Leech Seed mispredicted. Circle thread out the Flygon after it danced. Plusle returning. Getting a little bit of Leech Seed chip back. Blast and stuff. This Plusle is having a rough time making progress because there's so many defensive switches that just shut it down completely. We're going to see a... Sorry about that plane going overhead. Oh, Jellicent. Do I agree with that? I suppose. Maybe the Swampert health is more valuable, and you don't know if it has HP Grass or something. That's a bit of a safer way to go about it. Does this Deoxys have a Pataya Berry or something? Just going to finish off Jellicent with a Psycho Boost. Does it really not have anything else? I guess that is Psycho Boost, Superpower Sub, maybe Extreme Speed last? We'll see. Maybe it's Ice Beam, and then that doesn't hit Jellicent, so that makes sense. Nice Toxic on the Pert, that is pretty big. Crippling the Swampert. And heals on the Protect, that's also quite good. Rough position though, 2 spikes up. And Gengar gonna come in on a toss and get pretty significant Toxic chip there. Gonna go Gliscor and get burned, and that's pretty much game over, I think. That's like... Your one hope was this Gliscor, and now it's gone. Unless Bliss has Aromatherapy, that's a bit of a saving grace, but... Peter can just explode here and deny that. Are we gonna see a... We see a heal. Alright, and this Tar is directly threatening Blissey. Goes Gliscor despite being burned. What about Hidden Power that was? Is that Hidden Power bug? That's an interesting click. Goes for a knock. It was Fire Punch last. And gets a bit of a break with that crit. We're going to see a Pataya Berry activate. No. Did this get knocked off? No, it must have expert belt. Yeah, Deoxys speed continuing to not achieve much. Despite it being a literal legendary Pokemon. Perhaps not as good as it looks. If all you Theoremon gamers wondering like, what if Deoxys speed was in Gen 3OU? This is kind of a proof of concept that maybe it wouldn't even be that good, but I mean, Gen 3OU is a different meta. There's different stuff in this metagame, obviously. And I don't think that the PDB can win this one. This is sort of just delaying the inevitable. The Gliscor's burned. This Blissey is... holding on for dear life. 3 spikes are up. Jellicent is as good as dead with the 3 spikes. We've got a Gengar applying a lot of pressure. We've got the Tar is full health. This Swampert is happy to die just to allow a safe entry point for one of these physical threats. Tyranitar can just Dragon Dance right here and probably just end the game. Gliscor comes in, but gonna be threatened by Rock Slide. And with Burn, I'm assuming Lum, yep. Can even dance again if he wants. Doesn't have to, though. Jelly in. Gonna get slided as well. That's a kill. I think this is, if not a kill, then a 2-hit. GG. Wonder if we'll see a team switch up. We saw the same team from the PDB twice in a row. Are we gonna see a different choice this time? Yes, it's a Tar lead this time. We've got a team switch up. And a Claydol. What is this, Gen 3OU? A shiny Claydol is entering the picture. We've got a Gen 3OU game so far. Houndoom, no lefties. Could that be Expert Belt? Or Charcoal? Or perhaps some sort of berry? We see Peter happy to take a flamethrower to establish a spike. A solid Gambit. He's got the Gengar to spin block those Claydol, despite psychic vulnerability. That could be a... Goes for a Protect. Can actually chip heal up here. Doesn't chip heal up. Opts to spin block. Perhaps sometimes it's better to not go for the Protects because it telegraphs what you're going to do more. Burns the Claydol. Just going to apply pressure to the spinner. Try to maintain this spike. Go back Scarm. Very good. Unfortunate crit there. But yeah, this Claydol is getting burn chipped. We get a free Protect. You could even click Spikes actually, because worst case he spins, you reestablish your Spike. I think a Spike was actually slightly more optimal there. Worst thing he can do is Psychic you for peanuts. If he spins, you remake the Spike anyway. And you're in the same position, but you're winning because he's slowly dying to burn. And if he switched his out like he did there, you can actually get a second Spike. And this is a Tar danced up. This is something. Happy to obviously HP bug the Claydol. This Spike is now not going anywhere. Dunsparce is in. Been a popular choice. It's a good Pokemon, but... Ooh, that is a good move. I like that. I've not seen counter on Dunsparce yet. That is really cool. That was a pretty crucial moment. He now has a shot to win. Because that danced up Tar was going nuts. And he went straight to Dunsparce, and I was like, that's your answer? You're in trouble, man. But... Okay, nice pursuit. Pursuit Tar with Claydol, and Pursuit Tar plus Houndoom is interesting structurally. We've got a Jellicent. We're going to see a Wisp. Yes. And Jellicent should obviously 1v1 this. He's going to click Recover. I think he should click Recover now for sure. Silvally can go for a Rock Slide flinch. Goes for a Dance again actually. I think a Rock Slide flinch, if he had Rock Slide, was the better option, because after the Rock Slide chip, you guarantee a kill with multi-attack. And it also threatens everything else he's got. But that's okay. Okay, Houndoom coming in. Pretty threatening. Wonder what Peter's got in the back. We're going to see HP Grass. No, just a simple crunch. Ooh, and a Toxic Dodge. What a... He was representing the Go Jellicent on the surf, but if I'm Peter, I wouldn't do this because your Swampert is completely unrevealed. He doesn't know that you would be mono surf, which is now what you've heavily suggested you are. You've got surf only, probably protect and some other support move as a third and fourth. But from this guy's perspective, he doesn't know that. He could expect EQ as the obvious click, which is the... Or do you not have surf or any attack at all? I don't know. Interesting position. I don't know if Toxic actually is the better click. I feel like you just attack this Houndoom though. I guess it mid-grounds. It does mid-ground them because you can just protect, chip back. Maybe he also wants to just chip heal. And Jellicent with double status. I like that actually. Jellicent has a pretty varied move pool. You usually want Will-O-Wisp, Recover, Surf, but then your fourth move can be anything from Taunt, Ice Beam. I think Jellicent gets Haze as well. That's a good option. And Peter has one more Pokemon. Is it enough to get through? You know, a Flygon might just be enough to... Oh, but the burn is crippling. And no Lum. You know, maybe a Rock Slide Flinch was the better play in this position. Although, you know what? The EQs might get there. That's a win. GG. He won through the burn. I feel like Jellicent should have clicked Recover there. But it was Toxic, right? Was it Toxic? Yeah, it was. So it makes sense, I guess. Makes sense. Well done. The Flygon last got there. That was a nail biter. That was a really close one. So I can now confirm who this is because I have the result here. So Peter was in fact Yak Attack the whole time, and this was the patboi. So I was right in my initial hunch on who these people were. All good. Look what's next. We've got JimCool's set. Whoa. The YouTuber plays this? I was up against Old Dan's Jacket here. Here's game one. We have got a Parasect leading up against an Electrode Hisui, which you can't see the sprite here, but it's a wooden Electrode. It's kind of cool. And he taunted me turn one, denying my Spore, but I can simply Spore again here. I think, do I decide against it? Yeah, I went to Cloister actually. Expecting a HP Ghost or some sort of Rock Slide from the fellow. And I go Parasect here. And this is this is what I was talking about before. Look at this. He Hydro Pumps my Parasect, forgetting that it has Water Absorb. I Spore his Cloister, forgetting that it Overcoat blocks Powder moves. Just an absolute clown fiesta right here on turn 6. This is just competitive Pokemon at the highest level, folks. We all learned something here today, absolutely. So I just accept that Spike's going to be up here in this weird early game, and I just spam Lunge on this Cloister that can't touch me. And, you know, I am either chipping something... This Parasect is just a threat, I've realized, because that was an unfortunate static para. But yeah, I was like, either whatever comes in is going to take a huge lunge, or it's going to be Spored next time. And now I go Cloister. I think he does click HP Ghost this time. No, same thing, Rock Slide. The coverage option for Parasect. And I go ahead and create Spikes. And then Parasect walls this Cloister with Water Absorb plus Ghost. blocking rapid spin. So I go back Parasect, but he's a genius. He goes back Crab. Racking up Spike's chip with these forced switches. I go back Cloister. He does HP Ghost that time, and it's okay though, because now I have 3 spikes. He's brick breaking through the Cloy, and I can just go for Surfs on this Crab and chip it down quite a bit, doing about 60 to it with the Surfs. Happy to die in that. Get a Moltres in now. Moltres with 3 spikes up, even in Hoenn Gaiden is powerful. I like Moltres in this meta. Because Crab Omnible's is common, Parasect is common. There's more ice types in general. I think a Moltres is very threatening. It's already good in Gen 3 OU, but in Hoenn Gaiden it is even better, I think. And it has support from a lot more spikers. So yeah, I go Parasect on the Blissey, and he actually has fire coverage, so he's able to carry me. My Parasect not able to get a Spore off this game, but still a very valuable Pokemon. It was able to completely wall this Cloy and get a lot of lunges off, able to kill this Electrode. And I go Delibird here. Delibird is, I think, an excellent Pokemon. It has really, really buffed attack and special attack stats. It's got access to either Rapid Spin or Spikes. You have to pick one or the other. Egg move stuff. You can't have both. It's illegal. But Rapid Spin or Spikes. It's got Ice Shard priority option. It's got a lot of good coverage. And obviously it makes Hail. It's a lot like, making Sand. Delete Lefty's chip, but, deletes Lefty's chip from a lot more stuff. Everything but Ice types, so... Or like stuff with Overcoat or Cloud9, so... Gonna chip Steel, Ground, and Rock types. And I do Brick Break here with Expert Belt. I think Expert Belt is the best item option on Delibird. Taking advantage of its coverage even more. And that hits Blissey and also the incoming Tar. That was an hidden power. Could it be Grass? Could it be Electric? I'll never tell. We've got a Gaming Chair, the Aerodactyl. I go for a Moltres Sack here, which allows me to get in my Crab. And I click Rock Slide, because the combo of Rock Slide plus Spikes and Mach Punch can kill anything. Rock Slide Blissey and Mach Punch it. Rock Slide Crab. Might actually just die to the Spikes and Sand. And then Rock Slide plus Mach Punch. I actually calced this, which is hard to do in Hoenn Gaiden. You got to manually put stuff in. But I put Regice in the calc, and then I gave him Fighting type and put all Crab Omnible's stats manually into the calc. Checked how much Rock Slide plus Mach Punch would do. It is just enough to kill. So, yep, and now Mach Punch kills this incoming Crab, obviously. Mach Punch also kills the Blissey from this health. And the Arrow. So that's a victory for Jim. Well played, Jim. Well done. Nice team with Delibird. Very cool. Excellent Delibird team, Jim. Very well done. I like the Hail Spikes concept. I think it's very good. Hail chips a lot more stuff than Sand does. And Delibird is a threat itself. It's a bit like an offensive Starmie that creates weather itself. It's really fast, really threatening. And it's got mixed coverage too with the Brick Break Expert Belt. You smack Bliss and Snorlax. It does a lot of stuff in one. I think it's extremely good. We've got my Game 2 team here. I'm in trouble versus this sub-Crab turn 1. I will say my team choice for Game 2 was less than optimal. I've got a weird Weather Clear Reversal Sweeper team. I did get a bit unlucky here though, but the team also is not great. So Sunflora has Desolate Land, which lets you Weather Clear versus Hail and Sand Setters. I've got a reflect magnetone, which helps my setup sweepers. T-wave the Rachi. Try to get something happening with reflect and stuff. I go for a sub here, I believe. So I've got something going. We button past a Volbeat, who I think is a really cool sweeper. It's got a lot of buffed physical attack. It's got access to acrobatics, so like Lychee plus acrobatics is a cool combo. It's got sub punch with the... And I just spam punch. Unfortunately, I get freaking static paralyzed again. I think that this Volbeat might have won the game if that didn't happen. But... because it's 350 speed. It's really, really fast. And I just click punch to deny a potential dance. But... if I wasn't parried there, I could sub over and over down to my Swarm range plus Lychee Berry and probably one-hit this with my bug move. And maybe kill everything else. I mean, Cloyster could live a hit. Cloyster could live a hit. I think he might have still been able to win, actually. I think this idea is okay. I just need a bit more weather clear. Because once you see the Sunflora goes down and then I have no weather clear anywhere else. It's kind of a throw. I was also running Foul Play on this Uxie, which just does 0 damage. So... probably run Psychic instead. Psychic would have actually been useful. Yeah, I do elim the tar with my dog, but to what end, you know? My Zap Galar is Lychee Berry plus reversal, so I go for an agility. Try to make something happen. And I go for a sub. It looks like there's a glimmer of hope after this Rock Slide miss. Into, I believe, another Rock Slide miss. Or a Rock Slide live behind sub, actually. So there's a glimmer of hope for Jim. But unfortunately, his Cloyster has Protect, so he just sand chips me down. I do get one reversal, but then I'm getting killed. And I cannot beat this arrow. There you go, GG. Jim looking like a bit of an idiot there. Jim looking foolish. Jim fool. But game 3, here we go. Can Jim recover from this? Let's see. I've got a Tyranitar lead, and I just go for a straight up Fire Blast on this crab. He goes for an aggressive Focus Punch, which doesn't pay off. Thought he was forcing me out. Trying to catch something coming in. I just go for a Brick Break because it can't miss. And versus this Cloyster, I am happy to just HP Grass it with my Expert Belt Mix Tar. And just kill the thing. He loves the Protect Cloyster, which is very good actually. It does actually get Lefty's Chip in Sand and Hail. I go for HP Grass again. He gets Arrow in. Doesn't have HP Fight. And gets Ice Beamed. I knew he could have had HP Fight, but I was down to lose my Tar, him be locked into HP Fight, because it would have allowed him... would have allowed me to do some stuff. I've got a Resilia in the back. Would have allowed me to make spikes or do other stuff. Speaking of Resilia, here it is. Gets T-Bolt parried though. This Electrode is just a para machine. Getting every para. I do Stun Spore the incoming crab. I think a spike would have been a better click there. Take this opportunity to sack Tar and get Moltres in for a quick kill. Cloyster in. And I go for the HP Grass, which does kill. And then right here I did some calculations. Because Cloyster's special defense is very nerfed in this gen. I think it's 10 lower. So I was like... I was wary that he could go Electrode on the HP Grass and then threaten my Moltres with a spike up. I am now in a lot of trouble. So I was like, can I afford to just Flamethrower? And it doesn't quite kill Cloyster from here, but it does about 45 damage. Which I think is good enough to... you know, even if worst case he surfs me, I am happy with that because I take about 60 from that and I just guarantee that he can't get this Electrode in that universe. But he ends up going to the Electrode and dying to the Flamethrower. So that play might have won me the game. Taking out his super fast electric grass guy that has an explosion, has a lot of stuff to just threaten the world. And here I go for an HP grass. This cloister getting a lot of chip heal. Cloister is pretty insane in this metagame. And then I just go for another HP grass. I was thinking of flamethrowing for the same reason I said before, because it does 2-hit anyway. Worst case, I take a surf. But I just go for the flame here. But his Jirachi, very specially defensive, and gets a toxic on me. That might have been a misplay. But I was worried about, like, if I switch out, he could sub-CM, you know, a lot of stuff. I just take the straightforward option. I stand by it, I think. You know, it's a simple click. And then right here, he's got the mind game. Is he going to go Cloy? Is he going to stay? Does go Cloy. But the flamethrower is still doing... It does 41. So good damage. I'm a bit wary to go Roselia. Right here I make a misplay, I think. So he spikes up. I surf. And... right here I go for Will-O-Wisp. I was trying to mid-ground the Jirachi. I would rather burn the Jirachi than surf it. I thought he might go there. He's very specially bulky. He can, like, go there, take a surf, protect, wish protect, loop me. So I was worried about this Jirachi. Jirachi can be a bastard, you know. Especially wish protect Jirachi can just never die. Getting a burn on it is really, really good. So I thought he might go for this and try to save his cloister, but turns out he was happy to lose the cloister and gets more crucial chip heal. This time he goes Jirachi and I surf. And see, like, it does nothing. He's now protecting. Wish protect, wish protect. And I go Gliscor and get toxic like a buffoon. I thought he would protect. But he's playing this well. He's actually... like, my two biggest threats, my Gliscor and Moltres, are now toxic. Spikes are down, threatening my Roselia and Jellicent. Like, this is not looking that good for me anymore. I Swords Dance thinking that he would protect, and he wishes, which was very well played. I don't Swords Dance on the protect. I don't think I need to, because I think a Swords Dance EQ kills everything he's got anyway. So no need to make a predict there. I do get the kill. He revealed to be very specially defensive, so I figured he'd be lacking in the Fizz Def, so the SD EQ does get him. My Gliscor getting a bit effed. I did ponder this for a moment. I was like, do I want to maybe go Moltres here or something, or go Roselia? But I was like, I'm parried. He can just chip heal a million times. I should probably just go for the kill. And then I do have enough. I was able to, despite his very well played endgame there, trying to claw back into it with this Jirachi, making every right move on my, you know, my switches, my boosts, my everything. He was able to almost win, but right on 5% on the last tick of Toxic, I was able to kill both the Cloister and the T-Tar. If he actually got the double protect there, he might have won. But yeah, definitely my flamethrower on the Electrode earlier probably won me the game. If I didn't get that crucial kill, I think I would have been in a lot more trouble. I think that was a good set. I definitely am a Gliscor fan. Roselia is also very buffed. Has a lot more special defense, and Cloud9 is a really good ability that deletes weather effects, allowing it to chip heal. Up next, we've got Bergenser versus SwordIsBored. Let's take a look at how this one goes. We've got an Electros lead versus Deoxys speed. Looks like the Deoxys is going to make 2 spikes. You know, what is good about Deoxys is it's pretty much guaranteed to make spikes. That is the best thing about it. No matter what they lead, you make at least 1 spike guaranteed. And there is value to that. for sure. That's kind of what's good about Glalie in Gen 3 AU. Versus most leads, it can make at least one spike very safely. So I do give credit to Deoxyspeed for that. Plus it does threaten Tyranitar with Superpower. Superpower is a really good move. Yeah, in terms of defensive spikers, it's a bit lacking in that regard. The Psychic typing isn't very good, but it did make 2 spikes. The Crab is going to take a Toxic and just Rock Slide down this Zap. Could be worth it for Bergenser. Jolteon comes in. Crab is going to die to the T-Bolt. Yep, either has to sack or... You know. I think that you could have pretty safely gone to Bliss there, actually, and just taken the T-Bolt, but... Well, Girafarig is an interesting mon. It's normal and Ghost type, and it has some physical stuff. Oh, whoops. Switches in, takes spikes and a T-Bolt crit. That's a lot of damage. And it comes Incineroar. Does this thing have... It does have a way to hit Bliss. It's got a Crush Chop. The Eel is going to threaten a 2-hit on Incineroar. Gets there. I wonder what item this Eel is running. No lefties revealed. Bliss gonna wall Gengar pretty nicely. But Gengar gonna opt to boom, and one Pokemon left is Zarude with Cloud9. Dark and Grass type. Reasonably speedy mixed threat. And Skarm looks like it's gonna just take it out with Toxic. Nice game. Very interesting teams from both. I like the take on the Jolt spikes here. I do worry that this team might be weak into like Salament's Flygon Tar. You don't really have very sturdy checks to them, but maybe you just go super all in with the threats and you can get there anyway. Not sure how that plays out, but... And this team from Bergenser with the Eel and the Giraffe is quite novel, and then we've got a pretty standard Skarm, Bliss, and Crab, the more meta stuff. But of course the Eel and the Giraffe are a bit novel. Game 2, let's take a look. Let me switch sides. We've got another Deoxyspeed lead. A very popular Pokemon, but in my opinion hasn't been performing great. But as I just said, it does guarantee a spike. It's going to guarantee 2 spikes, in fact. Very nice. Rachi. Going to take a big Fire Blast and get burned in the process. That is pretty damn crippling. And doesn't even have Protect. Just going to lose his Jirachi. This is not looking good for SwordIsBored. And a Dragon Claw just drops the Mence. Wow, I didn't think that would just kill. Okay. This guy's team is super weak to Mix Mence. I mean, what the heck? Another Dragon type? This is the most Mix Mence weak team I've ever seen. Sorry for the crit, fair enough, but that was getting 2 hit. Did have Ice Beam, probably. I mean, geez, that was the... Not even Protect on the Rachi? Just gonna drop? That was crazy. That was so... Just a turn 1 victory from Bergenser there. That does happen sometimes. Happens with Mixed Tar in Gen 3 OU. Sometimes your entire team loses to it. It's one of those things. Alright, well that was a set. GG's. Bergenser with a victory over SwordIsBored. We've got DKKoba. JimCool's patron. Friend of the channel versus Erry, unregistered. Hoenn Gaiden, community member. Let's see. We've got a Skarm lead versus a Tar lead. Classic matchup. And the Fire Blast crit. Skarm can usually live that, so that's a bit unfortunate. Also, did reveal to be faster than the Tyranitar, so... Usually when they stay versus tar turn 1, they're making a spike. They're not toxicking, but interesting call to make a spike. Maybe he's got a Gengar and he wants to cripple this Pursuitar, allowing Gengar to roam free. But then that's pretty useless when you can't even make spikes. So the Tara's kind of done its job anyway by eliminating the spiker. Let's see how this plays out anyway. Oh, it looks like Erry has the Chestnut to make spikes. Really not looking good for DKKoba so far. Erry happy to take that huge Ice Beam on the Chestnut to be able to make spikes. I think it's worth. That spike is going to go a long way. Blissey now forced out by Erry's Toxic, allowing in Starmie, who's going to take a bit of chip. Could have recover and stuff, we'll see. Sunflora. Interesting. Sunflora is actually going to allow Starmie to get a leftovers chip heal, deleting its own sand. Interesting pick on a tar team to run Sunflora. I wonder if Erry has anything that benefits from sand being gone, like perhaps a Suicune or something. Or a Salackberry threat like a Heracross or a, God forbid, a Volbeat. Tar coming in. Does prefer sand to be up when Blissey is in. You do want to deny the chip heal on Blissey. Dracovish entering the fray. So Sunflora looking more random now. Dracovish does have Sand Veil. And doesn't have lefties. Wonder what item this Dracovish is using. Could be a Lumberry. Whirlpool. Wow, that's really cool. This Bliss is now trapped. Could be Chesterberry Rest. Gonna... completely trap this Bliss. I mean, Whirlpool might actually run out of turns, though. Are we going to see Rest plus Chesterberry? That's my hunch here. No lefties. We see a Rest and probably a Chesterberry. There you go. Very cool. This Bliss is not long for this world. Look at that. Whirlpools again to almost finish it off. Bliss lives on one. One more hope at life. But probably taking too much from Toxic and Sand. Whirlpool misses. Gonna Ice Beam on the way out though. That Whirlpool miss didn't really matter. Cool Trapper option in Dracovish. Goes for a punch. Eliminates Chestnut. Very cool. Rough Skin. Doing some chip. Sunflora in. Bit of anti-tar technology. Solar Beam really threatening. Yet Sunflora does really well into enemy tar. Just hoping they don't have fire coverage, of course. Fear the Deer. We've got Stantler. Ground and Psychic type. Gonna finish off tar. Wow, is this Stantler gonna sweep? This could be a Stantler sweep. I'm surprised Sunflora isn't coming in. Solar Beam gonna drop this. You know, Starmie and Jolt could actually get there. Although actually, okay, the Jolt evidently doesn't have HP Ice. I think you probably had to save Stantler there. Just going for T-Bolt hacks. I mean, that was a pretty unwinnable position probably, but the Stantler maybe could have made something happen versus Bliss. It is a physical Pokemon, so it does have a physical attack. So maybe. Maybe there was a different path there. We've got game 2, the Abomasnow. DKKoba loves the hail stuff. That's pretty unfortunate. An immediate crit. I think Abomasnow would have certainly lived this and then gotten a lot of health back from Leech Seed and Lefties. Because you Leech Seed Snorlax, it has a really high base health. You get a lot back. That's a pretty unfortunate crit. That sucks. But maybe that's alright. Nightshade. I guess he doesn't have Wisp on his jelly. Didn't click it. It's a pretty free click here. Thought he would switch out. Okay, well, that surf crit, a little bit deserved. Holy shit, I'm tired and never use this move. Okay, well, that explains the Nightshade click. He wasn't expecting to switch out. He just made a little bit of a tactical error. Happens to the best of us. You saw JimCool's Spore against the Cloister earlier to no avail. You saw Fruhdazi click explode into a Parasect. You're not alone, DKKoba. We all make mistakes. We got the surf crit. The equalizer there. A bit deserved. Everything is balanced, as he says in the chat. But I feel like a Jellicent without a Wisp is just incorrect. I think you need Wisp. I think it's just an incredibly powerful move. I know some people are against Wisp mischance, but I mean, if anything can afford to miss Wisp, it's Jellicent, the bulkiest thing in the world. You know, much better than Gar at missing moves. If Gar misses a Wisp, it's devastating. If Jelly misses a Wisp, it's sort of, you know, Tuesday. Crab Omnimal, can Crab take this +1 HP fly and check this Gyarados? I believe it can. Whoa. Erry doesn't have HP fly. Probably HP Rock or Ghost Gyarados. The Crab, an insane physical check. Silvally Ice on the Hail Squad. Gonna Tar coming in on the Flamethrower. He gets a lucky burn there. Wow. Goes for a boom. I think that Silvally did well for itself. Got the epic burn. Ooh, with the punch. I guess, you know, the Tar dies to burn anyway. Punch actually is the optimal click there, yeah. But I hope you're not choice band and locked into it. I guess you are, because you go Cloy on the Metagross. Cloy, without ice typing, is a great Metagross check. You got very high base defense, and you're sand immune as well, so you're not getting too chipped. And Cloy can also just sit against Lax. It's getting chipped. Lax isn't. I think we might just see an explosion. Nope. Okay, good call by DKKoba, not chancing anything by greeting him with another spike. Whoa. Goes for the Shadow Ball. I guess the Jellicent's useless anyway. That's not too bad. Once Crab in the picture here. Would rather have Crab in threatening Mark Punch than Cloyster. Potentially. Does DKKoba lose this? Whoa, he lives the Rock Slide. Why didn't you EQ? What the? Any reason you didn't EQ? Okay, does DKKoba have anything for this? Probably has a Minun. Why? He clicked quick into the Minun. You gotta look at the... He's gotta levitate. You could have just Rock Slided. Oh no. Oh, but Metagross last probably just wins anyway. Okay, actually, never mind. I think that Cloy Surf actually kills this. Or is this a draw? Cloy Surf gets there. I was like, he might have to explode and there's a draw. Wow. A lot of misplays in this tourney. New Pokemon. I mean, who knew that Minun gets Levitate? People have talked bad about Minun, but look at that. It just won a game by confusing the enemy to death. How could Minun possibly Levitate? It's clearly on the ground. I'm going to call a ban on Minun for that one. It's illogical that it can Levitate. It doesn't make any sense at all. Alright, folks. We got DKKoba versus Erry. Game 3. Let's take a look. Goes for an Ice Shard on the Golok. That might be its only ice move then. We're going to Protect versus Bliss. Check if it has a fire move. That's astute. I like it. Down a tank a T-Wave then. Yep, this is a good moment. You get the leech, you chip in the bliss, forcing it out, probably leech again. Just Giga Drain, I mean that's good chip versus crab as well. Goes for a risky protect, could have been full parried. I don't know if that's necessary. I mean, you know what crab has, you know its coverage. Looks like the same team from DKKoba. Gonna go for a Toxic on the zap. I guess he runs Toxic and not Willow. It makes sense to not run both. Although we did see both being used by a previous gamer in the tournament. Depends on the team. You sometimes don't want to run 2 status moves so that they don't cross over, but sometimes it makes sense. Abomasnow, pretty nice into the Blissey, threatening the leech. Also chip healing in the hail. Leech, very, very clickable. This is the advantage of Abomasnow. You just, anytime you get a safe switch, you can wall most bulky waters, and bliss lacking fire coverage. You come in and get a free leech every time. Whoa, the Golurk dodged the ice shard there. Is this going to focus punch? Are we going to see a switch to jelly? Just to protect. And now the switch to jelly might be a bit more telegraphed, so maybe DKKoba mixes it up in ice shards this time. Yeah, it looks like Golurk went for the Shadow Ball that time. Good play by DK. And look, I think Golurk is now dead to ice shard. And we do see a switch out. Full parrot anyway, so can't complain too much about that. Reggie sets up a light screen on the protect. Regieleki, very similar to how it is in Gen 8. But there's no light clay in this gen, so the screen setting is not really as good of a strat. Nice punch on the switch out. Still doing a respectable 35% even through reflect. Crab is pretty damn strong. I think that's banded as well. Sylvally Ice is a pretty good switch in here, threatening a big multi-attack. Also, yeah, nice explode. I was going to say threatening explode. Calls out the Blissey switch, gets crucial chip. And we see a Mach Punch. Nice Golurk switch. This crab is now forced out. So, yeah, free focus punch. But nice go Jellicent. This is a bit of a back and forth on this game. We're seeing a lot of call-outs. I mean, Surf gonna nab a kill on this Zapdos. That's pretty nice. Regieleki. I mean, I think that Abomasnow safely comes in. Whoa. A ballsy Toxic. I like that. I would have thought an Abomasnow is a pretty free switch versus a potential electric move, but DKKoba not worried about it and stays in a second time. I wonder if this Reggie just doesn't have an attack. I guess not. What's his moveset? Light Screen, Reflect, T-Wave. Rapid Spin could be last. It does get Rapid Spin. That was a really good double switch on the Blissey. Because this Blissey could have healed up. If Jelly clicked Surf again, Blissey was able to heal up. The double to Crab denies the heals. And he rock slides to mid-ground versus Golurk. Even that little bit of chip helps versus Golurk, but Regieleki comes in just to sack and see what the Crab is locked into. I like that. Cleavor is an interesting switch in because he's locked into Rock Slide, which hits Cleavor. You might just stay and click Rock Slide, yeah. But with Reflect up, you're not taking much damage at all. This is the good thing about Hail, is that it, Cleavor is interesting because it, by the way, its sprite is unfinished. I'm aware that it looks like a RuneScape mob, but, you know, give him some slack. It's a volunteer created mod. We've got some quirks in the sprites and stuff. As I was saying, Cleavor is a sand immune reversal user, so really nice. You don't have to weather clear to be able to set up a reversal sweep, but obviously Hail is a counter to that because it can get Hail chipped. It's going to get its Salakberry here, but or is it just itemless completely? I guess it's itemless with acrobatics, which is another interesting way to run Cleavor. I like that. I would have assumed a Select Berry. That's the more common thing to use on it. But sure. DK goes for the boom. And Maiden looking pretty threatening. Are you going to just T-bolt the crab and drop to Hoenn Power Ghost, I assume that is. I would have maybe T-bolted this crab. You T-bolt it and then a Jellicent just wins the game. Looks like another banned crab. Goes for the protect chip. Might be relevant. I feel like you live that HP Ghost, so maybe better to just go for Leech, but... Well, actually, Giga Drain's the better click. Can't miss, and then sets up the kill with Surf afterwards. Well played to DK. And, persisting on using this Hail team, finally actually got some results with it. Won last game and this game with it. Well done. Insists on building Hail balance, and it paid off here. I do like Cloister and Maiden. I feel like the only thing I'm not 100% on is the Sylvalia Ice. It's just a bit... Like, you got a lot of Ice types already. You might want to just run something that's more... rounds out the team type-wise in this slot. I don't know if Sylvalia Ice is the pick. Like, with Hail, you're only getting, you know, a lack of Hail chip on it, which is kind of valuable, but not really. And then Stab Ice move is pretty cool, but you don't need that. I think you just want to round out the team, but I think the rest of the team is quite solid. You got the Cloy, Jelly, and a Bomber. Maiden is a good threat. The banned crab did great work. Went crazy here. Alright, the final set is Paul, who I think is a mod or a developer for the mod. And then we've got Free Skuntank, who is pretty active in the Discord. Seems like a storied community member. Let's see who emerges victorious. We've got Free Skuntank establishing spikes early on and going for a Leech on the switch out. This Wheezing Galar is Poison Water type. Interesting mon. Haven't used it myself. Pretty cool though. Moltres Galar comes in, and Moltres Galar has seemed a bit underwhelming to me, but maybe it just fits on a different kind of team. I don't think the Dark is a very threatening offensive type, and unless you are good into the Ghosts, and I don't think that Moltres Galar is great into the Ghosts. I suppose it's a bit better versus Jellicent than, say, Pursuit Tara's or something. We've got a Rest coming out. So it doesn't look like it's trying to be offensive. Looks like a very bulky Moltres Galar set with a Donphan, which we haven't seen so far, I don't think. Is Donphan going to go for a Toxic or something here? Or Knockoff? That's also really good. I think that's a new option on Donphan. Don't believe he gets that in Gen 3 OU. Malt's gonna burn the Sleep Turn. This is an interesting take on like a Storlia, more defensive fat team. I like this team a lot from Free Skuntank. Very interesting squad from Paul as well with the Wheezing Galar. Sort of similar paced teams. We've got the Claydol, the Slow Spinner, and a Toxic on the Zap. A bit of more of a slow pace Zap idea. A Thief Wheezing Galar to try and make progress that way. Suicune happy to take a Leech Seed. Burn the PP. Go Zap, yep. And, you know, I think a team like this is actually where Moltres Galar fits quite well. I think the Moltres Galar looks really good defensively here. It's a great switch into Claydol. Completely walls Claydol. Psychic immunity paying dividends. Wow, the HP grass, I assume. Could be ice, though. Chipping down that Donphan enormously. So Donphan very crippled now. And this wheezing with water type is going to threaten Tar with a potential water move, I guess. Just going to chip the Suicune that's sleeping. This looks like it's going to be a slower one, folks. But this Zap looks really, really threatening against Free Skuntank. I think that's the biggest problem Free Skuntank has. And look at that BP to Doug trapping the Chestnut. Well done. I thought Aerial Ace didn't make contact, but it does make contact, taking Rough Skin Chip. Free Skuntank going for the D-Dance on Tar. Gets the Rock Slide flinch on Wheezing Galar. That's pretty enormous. Goes for another Rock Slide and gets the roll that time. I'm assuming it's got Shuka Berry because it doesn't appear to care about Doug. But this Claydol can burn the Shuka Berry, and now Doug will kill. So I think Dance again was the play, actually. Let you outspeed Doug and then kill with HP Ghost. Oh, still faster. Wow. That's a slow Doug. Okay, so this Tar is going insane, actually. This could be a win. Dodges Rock Slide. Can't complain after the flinch on Wheezing Galar, I think. And another dodge on Rock Slide. But that Tar did a lot of damage, and maybe Free Skuntank can actually win here. Interestingly, the Molt doesn't have lefties. Did it get thiefed? Yeah, it got thiefed. This Zapdos is just such a threat. I don't think he can get through Zap. It threatens everything. It threatens the Suicune, the Molt, and the Donphan. And I think Paul could have just sat and clicked T-Bolt over and over, to be honest. But gonna go for Jirachi on the Sleeping Molt and Calm Mind up. Same difference, really. I assume it has the same coverage Zap has and threatens everything. Might even have Fire Punch for Metagross as well. Might even be better. Gonna go for Torque now. Is it a Roar last? Could be. We're gonna see a Roar? Yes. Okay. Interesting. Maybe Paul should have just attacked there. I don't think that the third Calm Mind was really necessary here. I mean, with two Calm Minds, I look at the... It depends on his coverage, I guess. He could have, like, Fire Punch Psychic, and then that way he doesn't do enough to Moltres or something, but I don't know. It depends. I think that Paul is fine here, though. The Zap is just too much to handle. Jirachi back in. Unless this Suicune can do something. Has Ice Punch, turns out. As if you don't go straight to Zap there. Now the Suicune has a Calm Mind. Does have had T-Bolt and Ice Punch. I think he for sure should have just T-Bolted in the face of this Moltres. He probably just won the game. I mean, yeah, Metagross could come in, but you have a full health Suicune. You just go there after the Metagross is in. I guess his Suicune just roars out this Suicune, probably. And that's fine. Does look like Roar. He's moving last. Yep. Okay, so Paul, crisis averted there. Still fine. And surely he just takes this opportunity to go to Zapdos, which... Okay, apparently not. He just roars again. I don't know if I'm crazy, but I feel like you just go Zapdos and click buttons and he can't do anything. Like... The worst he can do is go T-Bolt on Donphan and then Moltres on HP Grass over and over. But who cares? He's just getting Sand Chipped. I guess he gets Metagross in on an HP Grass maybe. But then you just go Suicune. He's playing it slower. He might just not want to risk any nonsense. Like, he can make random plays. Okay, now that Moltres... Sorry, now that Metagross just exploded, I think Zapdos pretty much just wins. Because like I said, yeah, here you just HP Grass. You take a Rock Slide, but whatever. You can just HP Grass and T-Bolt respectively over and over and win the game. So, I guess Paul's line to force the Metagross to boom on the Suicune was actually safer than what I was saying. And Malt is able to live a hit. But surely this Jirachi with Carmine and Thunderbolt is going to get the victory. Yep, GG. So, bit of a weird endgame there, but I think actually, despite what I was saying the whole time, I think he played it well with the Suicune forcing Metagross to boom, allowing Zapdos and Jirachi to for sure kill the remaining Pokemon, because Metagross was like the only reprieve, the only piece that Free Skuntank had to maybe do something, because you can come in on an HP Grass and suddenly like kind of threaten everything. Maybe chip down Suicune with Earthquakes. He did have Hidden Power. I don't know if that was Hidden Power Grass or what, but well played. Close one, kinda. I do think that the team here was a bit Zapdos weak, though. And the BP dog was good. Patiently played by Paul. Game 2. Mr. Rhyme is something I have not seen yet. It has Trace, Ice, and Psychic typing. So it is immediately forcing out this Chestnut. Ice Beam, never a bad click. Always a chance for some freeze nonsense. Goes for the HP Fire. Happy to just die for that chip. And Rough Skin going crazy. I guess he really wants Metagross gone. Tropius coming in. Tropius is buffed. It's Grass Dragon. Has buffed offenses as well. And Thick Fat. And Natural Cure. Pretty reworked. Pretty different Pokemon than what you would expect. Grass Dragon with Thick Fat is proving pretty insane with the shrugging off this Ice Punch, but yeah, Confuse Ray, weird option there. Wow, Confuse Ray's the Tropius, and then it hits itself a few times trying to live these Ice Punches. He does aptly say what the frick in chat. I can't fault him for that. You know, Tropius isn't the only one who's confused, if you know what I mean. Gonna dodge a Rock Slide, though. Error coming in on the Giga Drain. Gonna go for a Rock Slide. Dies in the process. Gengar bulky enough to live a Rock Slide. Was risking a flinch there. Loom comes in. Wow. Gets spored on Chestnut. This is looking weird. I mean, Paul is down 2 Pokemon, but yeah, Chestnut can just stay and Rough Skin chip this Breloom, I suppose. That's true. The Tropius is as good as dead. I mean, this is a team that hinges a bit on spikes, I feel like, from Free Skuntank, and this Chestnut doesn't look like it can make spikes. But Paul looks like he might be running out of steam. Maybe just the Swampert meta and Tar can clean this one up. Banana Man not able to live that. And Metagross is really low too. But Metagross is high defense, feel like he can live, and he does. HP something. HP Flying? That's kind of crazy. Either that or HP Fire. Paul predicts the Explode. Ooh, sub Swampert. Probably Endeavor or something. And what is this Tar? Has it revealed anything? Rock Slide. He's going to get some flinches. He taunts. That's interesting. I mean, he's slower, but he's still taunted. And this is kind of crazy. This Swampert could do some damage with Endeavor. Whoa, he's... I was going to say he subbed into Torrent range, but no, he goes for the Surf that time. Still 2-hitting Skarm. And now Surf, and I wonder if he gets hit into... Well played. Because Hydro Pump I think would have killed, but he didn't want to miss Hydro Pump and allow a sub. So he goes for Earthquake, which puts him into Torrent range. Gonna Endeavor. Actually, more damage. And who wins this? Depends on Paul's last. I think he probably wins. Probably has something to finish off this tile, but we'll see. Yeah, okay. So I guess these games are out of order because Paul just won both of them. And there's a third game, so forgive the order there. I just played them in the order they were linked in the chat. So unfortunately we already know the result, but let's look at the last game anyway. Sorry about that one, folks. So this is going to be one where Free Skuntank wins against Paul. But doesn't go for Solar Beam. Goes for Leech Seed. Okay. Is he going to click Leech again? Baton passes out. Fair enough. Gets Lax in. Going to go for probably Lovely Kiss, I imagine. Yep. Sleep the Swampert. Epic. Gets Sunflora in on Lax. Goes for Sub. Dodges the Lovely Kiss. That's really huge. He can now Sub Pass. Goes for Leech, actually. I think Sub Pass was better there. Because, yeah, now you just forced out, but you can still Leech and you miss, though. I mean, Leech was actually also good. Just looked bad when he missed it, but hey. Alright, well, that's not the end of the world. You chip healed up with the thing. Suicune completely walls the Mence, and look at that Toxic. Totally owning Vaporeon. You are obviously immune to water with the Desolate Land. You get Ice Beam crit. I wonder if he would have lived. I felt like he would have, but Vaporeon actually has a pretty good special attack, so not sure if that mattered. Subs up. Okay, having a sub up, I feel like pretty huge advantage here. Calm Mind. Yeah, this just wins, right? Well, Lax can come in and EQ. I feel like he should just go straight to Lax. Maybe he doesn't have EQ on Lax and he just loses. The other reprieve against this Swampert is also asleep. So we're just going to see a bunch of sub CMs into what I believe is likely a victory here. HP Grass going to kill the Tar. Lax in. Going to maybe kill with EQ if he has it, but I would question the lack of going to Lax immediately if he had EQ. Doesn't have EQ, evidently. Goes for Boom. And the Sub obviously guarantees the victory there. Vape. Dead. So that was a good one. Unfortunately, we knew the outcome there, and we saw the games out of order, but at least they weren't lost to time like last round. So we got all the games. None of them were lost to the history books. And that was a good round too. I loved all the teams. A lot of variety. This team from Paul is literally an OU team, I just realized, except for Kiss on Snorlax. Probably Expert Belt on Mag. Maybe a Yachi Mence. Could be Expert Belt Tar as well, but I think this meta is really fun. I'm having fun discovering new broken stuff. It's like the Wild West, you know? There's just so many options, so many things that can go crazy. Like my Volbeat concept, no one's really used that before. I've gone crazy with it in friendlies. Unfortunately, in tournament, it kind of floundered, but I think Volbeat remains pretty insane with the 350 speed plus Acrobatics Lychee and Swarm Signal Beam. I think that goes crazy. See you guys in round 3. We got some good matchups that you guys are going to be excited to take a look at. So stay tuned. And thank you again to the patrons. I'll see you in the next one, folks.